Hello YouTubers, this is Rob 5 here. Originally I had recorded a deck tech on my good camera, but for some reason it's not letting me upload, so we'll do it this way. This is the current iteration of my course, the Conclave budget build. It works great in its current form. It is missing some pieces like Feldar Sovereign at Johnny Goldmain, Mosswort Bridge, scrying sheets, and things like that. I've got all the snow-covered lands for it, but anyway, let's do this so it won't take too long. We're going to make this kind of quick because, yeah. Anyway, so we are running for non-basics a Windbrisk Heights. It's a hideaway land. Lets you look at the top 4 cards of your library and put one of them under it, and if you attack with 3 creatures you pay 1 white, tap it, and you can play the card without paying its casting cost. So, of course, a Secluded Step is in there, basically early game mana, late game card draw. Same with Tranquil Thicket. Get my cards right here. This I may swap out for Scrying Sheets. This is a Dryad Arbor. It's a man land, but it can be targeted by Path to Exile because it is a creature. So it's got a little 1/1 right there in the corner. So kind of a disadvantage. Of course, Oran Reef the Vastwood. Super cool card. +1/+1 to all green creatures. And then I've got 3 of the Judgment lands here. We've got a Nantucket Monastery, which turns into a 4/4 insect creature guy if you have Threshold. A Riftstone Portal, which lets all your lands tap for green and white if it's in your graveyard. Of course, a Croson Verge if for fetching up green and white land. So, and you can get both a plains and a forest with it. I got a Reliquary Tower, obvious. A Gavany Township, which gives all my little creatures +1/+1. A Salt Crested Step, which lets me build up mana so I can cast really big spells if need be. Like, say, if I don't have my token generators out, or my Awakening Zone out. Oh, pardon me. Of course, a Sunpetal Grove. An Arctic Flats, I left it in just because I thought it was kind of cool. I know it's a snow land and I don't have the Scrying Sheets in, but, you know. Second man land in Stirring Wildwood. I knew the name of them. Brain's kind of slow right now. One colorless, 1 green, and 1 white. It becomes a 3/4 elemental with reach. Not bad. Of course, a Karoo land, not a bounce land. Karoo lands, because the original land that it's named after was called Karoo, is Selesnaya Sanctuary. You can look it up. And of course, and then I'm running 10 of each of the plains and the forests. Let's move on to artifacts. Do this as super quick as possible, and I'm welcome to any suggestions. And if you look at my wants list, there's stuff I'm looking for. So if you want to trade, then hit me up. So, of course, a Sol Ring. Every deck should have one. These next 2 cards are kind of a combo piece together. Got the Dark Steel Pendant and the Seer Sundial. You can use the Dark Steel Pendant to see if you want the card that's on the top of your library, and the Seer Sundial to draw it. If you have a land coming to play, the Sundial's got landfall ability. I'm sorry, the trigger. Oh, pardon me. Or you can, I mean, it's basically poor man's top. So, Mimic Vat. Had a good effect using Solemn Simulacrums on this, so I can go fetch lands and draw cards and whatnot. Super, super cool. Just let you imprint creatures if you don't have like a Lord of Extinction or an Avatar Blow or anything, which you won't in a green-white deck. Amulet of Vigor, all those come into play tapped things don't come into play tapped with this. Of course, Graveyard Hate, Tormod's Crypt, best way to go in this deck since there isn't too much Graveyard Hate in green-white. So, and it's a 0-cost card. So, now onto equipment. I've got a Manriki Gusari. Let you destroy other equipments. Another good one for that is Hammer of Ruin from World Wake, but this does the same thing. Swiftfoot Boots, Protection and Haste. Lots of creatures I want to keep alive. Loxodon Warhammer, just a really, really good card. Another Help Keep Creatures Alive and Whisper Silk Cloak. And same with Lightning Greaves. And a underrated equipment card in Banshee's Blade, it's the poor man's Imazawa's Jit. So, of course, Behemoth Sledge. Super cool, +2/+2, lifelink and trample. Can't fail. And with the life gauge stuff with Feldar Sovereign when I get one. Oh, excuse me. It'll be awesome. So let's move on to the multicolored cards. I have a Plumbright Wings. It's an enchantment that you put on your creatures it gives them flying, and when they deal damage, it produces that many 1/1 green and white sap rolling tokens. So token generation is always good. That's pretty much the main theme in this deck. Retrieve cards from any graveyard with the Hymn of Rebirth. Really, really cool card. Privileged Position protects all your stuff. I need a like Greater Auramancy or I can't remember the name of the other one. That Betrayed recommended it, but to protect all of them. So this is like loop effect. Wheel of Sun and Moon lets you discard to the top of your library. Hunting Ground. Whenever if you have 7 cards and more cards in your graveyard, Threshold ability lets you play creature cards from your hands whenever an opponent plays a spell, so you can just put them on the battlefield. So it's kind of cool. One of the more hated cards in EDH, Aura Shards. Whenever you play a creature spell, destroy target artifact or enchantment. This card is really, really good. Congregation at Dawn. It's actually a foil. It's hard to tell though. Matte finish sleeves. Anyway, and for those of you who have a hard time shuffling with new sleeves, these matte finish sleeves are super awesome. They don't slide around. Anyway, lets you go search up like key pieces. It says search your library for up to 3 creature cards and reveal them, and then put them on top of your library in any order. So you can go get your Rampaging Balos or your Merry Angels and so on and so forth. So. Juniper Order Ranger, really good card. I just kind of added it in. Whenever a creature comes to play, the creature gets +1/+1 as well as the Juniper Order Ranger. So it's kind of cool. Sigil Captain, it's the foil one I was going to put in. Whenever a 1/1 comes into play, it gets 2 +1/+1 counter, so it becomes a 3/3. So it's always good. With all the little chumpy tokens that are coming in, that's a really good thing. Mystic Enforcer, which I'll probably swap out for like a Feldar Sovereign or something like that. It's a really cool, fits in the color scheme, it's got Threshold, it gets +3/+3 flag. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me, and it's pro black, so it becomes a 6/6 flyer pro black. So for only 4 too. One of the key pieces in this deck is Reese the Redeemed. He can make little tokens and he can double up your tokens, so it's always good. Double those Eldrazi Spawn tokens. Got a Tolsmere Wolfblood. He gives green and white creatures +1/+1, and he can create a 2/2 legendary wolf creature named Boja, who becomes a 4/4 because he's a green-white wolf token. So this guy usually ends up coming out for free. Arch Thornworm, it's a 9/14. If you have the ability to pay its convoke cost, you have to tap 10 creatures and pay 3 green and 2 white. Normally, it just comes out for free. So with Hunting Grounds and Elvish Piper. Oxidon Hierarch. When he comes to play, you gain 4 life, and you can use him. You can sack him to regenerate all your creatures. Of course, Sully Pride Mage, Artifact and Enchantment Hate, and you can always get him back. So now on to the white. Got an Intangible Virtue for all those little 1/1 tokens and whatnot. All the tokens that are coming in general, they get +1/+1. Spot removal, Path to Exile. Give all your dudes lifelink and double strike with True Conviction. This is usually reserved for generals or like a pesky Blightsteel Colossus. So Condemn should always be in there, and if in your opening hand, just hold on to it. Get that general onto the bottom of someone's library. Here's another board wiper. In Martial Coup, if you pay more than it's 2 white and X. If X is 5 or more, it destroys all other creatures in play except for the tokens that you put into play. So be careful when you use this, and make sure that you can get your creatures back after they're destroyed. So this prevents players from attacking unless they pay 2 for each creature. Of course, Ghostly Prison. Some more removal in O-Ring. Stormherd is a good card because you can put X 1/1 flying Pegasus tokens into play, where X is your life total. So, in EDH, especially this deck in general, with all the life gain in it, it can get pretty ridiculous. Imagine like 40 or 60 of these little dudes running down someone's throat with all the +1/+1s on it. So, since this is a budget deck, we got a DOJ, so budget board wipe. This is a cool card. The Betrayed sent this as an extra, which really surprised me. Steel Shaper's Gift. Since I'm running a lot of equipment, I can use this to tutor up those equipment cards. So, onto the white creatures, got a Spur Mage Apprentice. This was actually reprinted for one of the Commander decks, I believe. You can return 2 creature cards from target player's library to their hand to destroy target attacking creature. So it's got a downside, but it's a really good upside. So, more token generation with a Myria Angel. Really good card. During Zendikar block, one of the more annoying cards to go up against. Especially with Harrow and Colony Heart Expedition, and they'd be dropping like 4 bird tokens a turn, and just throw down to overrun. That was ridiculous. One of the bombs in the deck, Guy's Darned Monk. Super ridiculous. Super ridiculous. He can get to be like 40/40. It's ridiculous. Here's one way to get your guys back. Sun Titan. Of course, Primeval Titan's not in here because this is a budget build, so Sun Titan is the only Titan. And then a Veteran Armorer gives all creatures +0/+1. So, let's move on to the green. We've got an Awakening Zone, which every turn, in conjunction with Parallel Lives, can net you up to 2 Eldrazi spawn tokens every turn, beginning of your upkeep. So you have, extra mana and little dudes to attack with. If you want some creatures back in your library and Sun Titans in your library or whatnot, you can use this to repopulate, sends them back to your library. Asceticism to keep things from dying. Got Kodama's Reach and Kodama's Reach 2.0 in Cultivate and Kodama's Reach. So, Leyline of Vitality. Creatures get lifelink and +0/+1. This, I haven't brought this out yet, so I don't know how well it'll actually work. But of course, one of the big baddies in this deck, Beastmaster Ascension. 7 quest counters, all creatures get +5/+5. Bam. Enough said. Token generator. In Night Soil, you pay 1 and remove 2 cards from target opponent's graveyard from the game, and you put a 1/1 green sap rolling token into play. Parallel Lives helps double up all of those little tokens. So, and then with the Rampaging Balos, imagine 2 4/4s coming in per turn, every land drop. So far, the only Planeswalker is Garrett Wildspeaker. He's great. He has no downsides. He's an overrun. He untaps, and he creates tokens. So, good way to get creatures out on the cheap. Elvish Piper, pay 1, tap it, put a creature into play from your hands. Here's a mana ramp in Fertilid. It comes into play with 2 +1/+1 counters, and you can pay 1 and a green to remove a +1/+1 counter and go search up a land and put it into play. A really underrated card in Tajuru Preserver. It makes it so your opponents can't force you to sacrifice permanents. So, Hornet Queen. With Parallel Lives out, you get 8 1/1 flying Death Touch creatures when this comes into play. Otherwise, it's only 4, but still pretty good. Oracle Moldiah lets you play 2 land a turn, help you ramp in easier. So, Yavimaya Elder, same thing, lets you get lands and draw a card when you sacrifice it. Scoop Mob can get pretty ridiculous. It's super big, really good card. Drove of Elves. Is power and toughness is each equal to all green permanents you control. So this is another one that gets kind of beastly. And here we go, Rampaging Balos. Yeah, one of the cards I usually search up right away. One of the more annoying ones, Dose in the Falling Leaf. If you're having a hard time, you lock down the board so players can only play spells on their turns. So they can't path to exile your attacking creatures. And of course, Sakura Tribe Elder. Getting more mana out. And I didn't go over the general. We've got the Chorus of the Conclave. Its ability is when you cast a creature spell, you can pay additional mana to put +1/+1 counters on it. So, kind of pricey to get out though. It costs 8 mana to cast it. So if you bring her out, you got to make sure that you can keep her on the board. But she's a 3/8. So that's it. I hope this uploads properly. Please offer suggestions and check out my wants list. If you have any of those things, please PM me. I'm going to be posting, as I said yesterday, my next mid-range budget build. It's not going to be, cards will be, I'll raise it from 10 and below to like 15 and 20 below. Will be NMR, Soul of Elements. So I've already got some things picked out for that. Not quite all of them yet, but some things. Start trading around for some stuff like propagandas and Wheel of Fortune and stuff like that. Anyway, so please rate, comment, and subscribe, and keep an eye out, YouTube. Alrighty.